Let's take a closer look at the current situation in the WEC Championship. Because there are lots of discussions, many people are unhappy, and if one team starts to pull the plug, others could follow. Hypercars are a big experiment where FIA and ACO try to balance very different cars with limited costs. Check out my other video with the link below to learn how we got here. It first worked out and many manufacturers joined, but more and more people are unhappy about the balance of performance system, which doesn't really work and often felt unfair. And teams are not allowed to criticize it publicly. We knew that we would have these discussions before Hypercars started, and now we are not just there, we could see the end of this era pretty soon. But more on this later. First, let's take a look at the last race in Austin. Like always, before discussing the race weekend, we have to discuss the BOP rating of each car. And here we could see that Aston Martin has still by far the best rating with the lowest weight and highest power in low and high speed. That makes sense because it's a new car and they are currently not competitive. In the race they suffered from crashes and technical problems, which meant a double DNF for them. The next car with the same best rating and low speed is the Peugeot, but this LMDh car is designed for good performance on the Le Mans long straights. So they get a massive 7.3% power reduction above 250 km per hour, which makes them the weakest car on the straights. ACO and Peugeot have history, and Peugeot's BOP often felt unfair. Check out my video about this below. First, they got a bad rating of their car, so they were always at the back. When their concept didn't work properly, because ACO and FIA changed the regulations when their car was already designed, Peugeot brought an update and got a bad rating again, as this was a new car now. And this year, where it looked like Peugeot could do well in Le Mans, they got an extra bad rating and were not competitive. So the question is, how long will Peugeot still invest in a project where they have no chance to get to the front? In Austin, however, they could secure their best results so far with 3rd and 4th place, also because of constant rain and lower speeds. If this is enough to convince them to stay remains to be seen. The next best rating has the Cadillac, but since they need to carry 19 kg more than before and have less power as well and even less in high speeds, they couldn't fight at the front. Alpine has a similar rating to the last race in Brazil, with high-speed power as low as Peugeot. But because of the much higher weight, they have by far the worst rating in high speed and could only finish in 11th and 15th position. It seems like they are damned to stay in the midfield with their BOP rating. The BMW has a slightly better rating than in Brazil, but they were struggling with technical issues. Big talking point is Porsche. They got 12 kg more weight, almost 20 horsepower less, but a 2.9% increase in high speed. So they are the second heaviest car, and they could still be competitive and won the race after a hard fight, which shows you how good this car is. But Porsche is fed up with that BOP system. They build a very good car, deliver perfect execution, but can still not win in Le Mans because Ferrari, who were dominating the championship until then, got even less weight and more power for Le Mans. And Porsche now even publicly criticizes the BOP system. At the same time, Porsche's road car business is struggling. The China business slipped away, the US introduced ever-changing import taxes, and these are their two largest markets. In the second quarter 2025, Porsche had 91% less profits and was kicked out of the German stock group DAX. Porsche needs to save money. They wanted to decide about the future of their hypercar program after Le Mans, but that didn't happen yet. First, it seemed obvious that they would leave IMSA and stay in WEC to still have the chance to win Le Mans. But after the sore taste of Le Mans 2025, that might be different. BOP in IMSA works better because they are only LMDh cars, except for the Aston Martin, and not a mix with LMDh cars like in WEC. A single body decides over the BOP rating instead of two institutions like in WEC. And the process seems more transparent than in Europe, where sometimes old connections, old stories and special deals seem to influence the rating. Also, Porsche is changing their CEO right now, and the next one should have a say in this, which might be the reason for the delay. Ferrari, on the other hand, used the available budget and capacities from the Formula One budget cap to join sports car racing, and they built an amazing car. The 499P is competitive even with a bad rating. Check out my other video for all details on that with the link below. And because of its high-speed advantage, the FIA even introduced a separate power rating for speeds above 250 km per hour. So this was created to slow the Ferrari down. So it's a surprise to see that Ferrari now gets 4.8% more power at high speeds. And another brand that is not happy with BOP is Toyota. After everyone left LMP1, Toyota was staying, and they also committed to the new Hypercar rules. And because they were winning everything in the years of no competition, they got punished by BOP ever since. Also, Toyota built a great car which is even competitive with a bad BOP rating. But they could always drive at the front with less punishment by BOP, and in Austin they could only finish in 9th and 14th. So how long will Toyota still invest in this system? So there's a tense atmosphere in hypercar racing. Many brands joined, but now they are disappointed by a not working BOP system in WEC. Le Mans gets its own rating, and they now only take the best 2 of the last races into account. They adapt the BOP system constantly, but it doesn't work. Teams feel unfairly treated, and it seems like some brands are ready to pull the plug. If one starts, others could follow quickly, and this could be the end of hypercar racing with a balance of performance. Porsche seems to be the most unhappy brand, and with their current struggles in their road car business, they have lots of internal pressure to reduce costs, also in their motorsport program. Let me know what you think about the current developments in hypercar racing and check out my other videos for more.